My name is Daithí O'Fallamháin. I'm with the Irish Freedom Party. Where does the impetus for Ireland's new hate speech bill come from? In short, it comes from the EU. If you look at the bottom of page 2 of our hate speech bill, you'll see the word schedule. A schedule in this case is a document which has been added to the bill because the bill can only be understood in relation to this document. Under the word schedule, you'll see the title of this document. It's called the Council Framework Decision of 2008. This decision is from the EU. If you'd care to read the document in full, it's at the end of the hate speech bill, pages 31 through 37. So I'm here to draw your attention to the EU's handling of hate speech. The exact wording of our hate speech bill has not been dictated to our government from the EU. That isn't how things work. The EU passes what are called directives, which provide an outline of what must be included into the laws of EU member states. The directive is then transposed into the local language and allowing for minor cultural differences. This process can take years, as countries may wrangle in the courts with the EU about whether or not a country has fulfilled its obligations related to the directive. Now, the EU has been pushing hate speech laws since the 90s, but relevant for today's discussion is the 2008 Council Framework Decision. In it provided provisions against public incitement to violence or hatred, or dissemination of tracts, pictures, or other materials inciting violence or hatred. The Council Framework Decision provides for the approximation of laws and regulations of the member states on certain offenses involving xenophobia and racism. So now fast forward to 2020, the year our new hate speech bill began to take shape. And here I have to discuss Ursula von der Leyen. In her State of the EU address, she said, "Hate is hate and no one should have to put up with it." Well, okay, but did she have a plan on how to eliminate hate? Yes, she did, and I quote, "The Commission will propose to extend the list of EU crimes to all forms of hate crime and hate speech, whether because of race, religion, gender, or sexuality." And here you can see the list is beginning to get a bit longer. In support of this change, she cited the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights and Article 2 of the Treaty on the EU. She continued, "Indeed, any form of discrimination, be it based on sex, racial or ethnic origin, religion or belief, disability, age, or sexual orientation, as laid down in Article 19 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the EU, is prohibited." And the list is growing again. And here's where it gets serious. Article 83(1) of the Treaty on the Functioning of the EU provides a list of areas of crime where the European Parliament and the Council may establish minimum rules concerning the definition of criminal offenses and sanctions applicable in all EU member states. In step 1, the Council adopts the proposal to make hate speech one of those crimes under 83(1) that the EU can demand EU member states submit. And then, in step 2, the Commission proposes directives on the definitions and sanctions of hate speech and hate crime to be adopted by the European Parliament and Council. So understand, this proposed hate speech bill in Ireland wasn't some wacky idea our politicians came up with in the pub late one night. These laws are coming directly from the EU. Our government is only falling in line and following orders.